Hey dolls, and welcome back to the dollhouse. If you are new to the dollhouse, come in, it's lit. Today we will be filming our LLC video. I don't know why this has been such a drag. I don't know why I didn't want to film this video, but we're here. I've taken some notes and I'm going to give you guys my take on LLC, the information that I know about it. I do want to state I'm not a licensed tax professional and I do not professionally form LLCs. So now that we've gotten that all out of the way, let's get into it. So let's pull up these notes, okay? Because here we go. Okay, so I asked you guys what are some questions you wanted me to answer about LLCs. Excuse me if you realize that my voice is lost. I've been teaching classes lately, so my voice is a little gone from talking too much. But I'm going to run through the questions that you guys asked, and I'm going to give you guys the answer that I know to the best of my ability. So, do you have to have an LLC for a business bank account? No, you do not have to have an LLC for a business bank account. You can set up a business bank account with your social security number. If you do have an LLC, your business bank account should be set up with your EIN number. And with your business bank account, you want to make sure that you only run business transactions through that bank account. When you open a business, you want to make sure that you go get that business bank account right away, because tax purposes it's going to be so much easier for you if you do all of your business stuff separate, not out of your personal account but out of your business account. The difference between an LLC and a sole proprietorship. So a LLC is a legal entity formed at a state level. This entity exists separate from the owner, making it so that all members of the LLC are not responsible for business debt, liabilities, etc. So with that being said, when you do form an LLC, there's plenty of things that you can do under your LLC, because your LLC is basically its own person. Your EIN for your LLC is basically like your social security for your personal being. You can open businesses, of course. You can buy property. You can buy cars. You can have credit for your business. All these things that will be separate. And this is really good for people who own things, have assets. You own your car. You own your house. You are no longer making payments. That is yours. You have the title. You have the deed. This will protect you in the event that something happens with your business. Your business, God forbid it happen, your business fails and now you're in a whole bunch of debt. Maybe someone tries to sue your business. They come after the business and not you when you have an LLC. So that is what they mean when they say it is its own separate entity at a legal level. With a sole proprietorship, a sole proprietor is responsible for all assets and liabilities of the business. There is no separate legal entity. Sole proprietor also are only allowed one owner. So when you have an LLC, you can have multiple owners of your LLC. For me, I am the only owner of my LLC for this first business that I have taken to a legal level. My next business, I probably won't be the only owner on my LLC. But with a sole proprietorship, there's just you. Nobody else attached to it. Nobody else can be added to it. It's just you. Your business is basically you. It's all in one. When you have an LLC, your business is separate from you. There's two. Why did I pick an LLC? I picked an LLC because there was no plan B for my business, only plan A. With that being said, I know my business is gonna skyrocket. I did really good in my first year. So I planned on having assets for my LLC to cover. I also planned on getting a car under my LLC, building business credit under my LLC. I wanted to do all of that stuff under my LLC and not me. So I did not need to go in head first with an LLC, but I did. Another reason why I picked an LLC is because the line of work that I'm in, I feel like is a lot more high risk for a lawsuit. God forbid that ever happened to me. I pray it doesn't. I take really good care of anything that has to do with my business. So hopefully it never happens. But when you're working with something so sensitive, or have people working for you that are working with something so sensitive, I wanted to keep everything separate from me. So I just started head first with an LLC, and I am pretty glad that I did do that. Who formed my LLC? I went through a company called InkFile. They have been nothing but amazing to me. I love InkFile. There's also Legal Zoom, or is it Zoo? Legal, one of the two. I went with InkFile. I felt like InkFile was a little bit more personal. You can always get a hold of a live person. I'm not saying that the other companies you can't, but my experience with InkFile, I will always form my LLCs with them. They give you the rundown. They sent me my LLC book with my state seal in case I need to seal any paperwork for my LLC. They tell you all the things they will not do that you have to do on your own, as far as like filing your LLC tax. But there's always a space that will teach you about that area of requirement, so that you are able to keep your LLC in good standing. I just love InkFile. 100% would recommend InkFile if you are looking to form an LLC. I don't really recommend forming your LLC on your own, but that is up to you. There's just certain things that you need in place to make sure that your LLC is 100% formed, and to make sure that your LLC stays in good standing, that me personally, I would not want to do, nor do I have the time to do it. So it was just easier to hire somebody to do that for me. How much did it cost for me to form my LLC? I believe my LLC was $423 or something around that ballpark. It wasn't more than $500. And then they offer you other things that you can upgrade your package to, virtual mailing if you don't want to use your address, which I did not want to use my address, because at the time my storefront wasn't open yet. When I formed my LLC, it was in the process of being like put together and everything, so I didn't know if I could use my storefront, which I could have, because I had already signed my lease. This was my location. I also was super big on not having my personal address on my LLC, because it's public record. I didn't want that attached to my LLC and people be able to know my home address down to the T. Okay, so I don't recommend using your personal address for your LLC form, or LLC formation, but that is completely up to you. What else? The add-ons that they offer, trademarking your business, and a couple of other things that are good things to have, especially if you're taking a serious step like forming an LLC. Let's see. Things you need to do to keep your LLC in good standing. So when you do form an LLC, especially if you do this on your own, make sure you guys stay on top of what you need to do. So depending on the LLC that you're doing, if you're going to be selling merchandise or reselling anything, you need to get a seller's permit, and you need to do it with your EIN that your LLC is registered under. You need to have a registered agent. This list is exactly why you should just let somebody else form your LLC, okay? It'll just make it so much easier for you. But you need to have the registered agent. You need to file articles of organization. You need to file a statement of information. You need to write a LLC operating agreement. And you have to pay your LLC tax by the 15th day of the 4th month after forming your LLC. So it doesn't matter if you form your LLC on the last day of 2021, 4 months from that date, on the 15th day of that 4th month, you have to pay your $800 LLC tax, regardless of if you've made money, if you haven't made money. To keep your LLC in good standings, you have to pay that LLC tax. That is something that you do not have to worry about if you are a sole proprietor, because you do not have that sole proprietor tax. So if you have an LLC and you have not paid that LLC tax, I highly recommend checking in and looking up, if you've had your LLC for 4 months or more, what you need to do to pay that LLC tax, and make sure your LLC is still in good standing with the state, the Secretary of State. Because if you do not pay your LLC tax, unfortunately your LLC will be dissolved and you'll have to do all this stuff to get it back. So you don't want to waste your money in that. You want to make sure that you keep your LLC in good standing so that you don't have to put extra money into an LLC that could have just stayed in good standing. And lastly, this is a quick video for you guys today. Would I change from an LLC? I absolutely would change from an LLC. I do plan on changing from an LLC. If I change from an LLC, it'll only be to elevate. So I would probably be going to an S or a C Corp. And that would just mean that Opulent Lash Bar has franchised and we are doing amazing, and it is that time to grow. So yes, I would change from an LLC, but I would only go up, I wouldn't go down. And that about wraps it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions, you can always feel free to DM me on my Instagram. All of that will be linked below. If you guys have any questions, you can always feel free to ask your questions that you may have in the comment section below. If this video was helpful to you at all in any way, I'd appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye.